Are you doing remodel research again?
I'm just looking at contractor reviews.
But I don't even know if we're supposed to call a contractor first or an architect. I feel lost.
I'm tired of scrolling through kitchens on Instagram and Pinterest.
How are we supposed to start a remodel? We've never done this before. What if we get it all wrong?
I don't even know where to start. Like, what should our budget even be? I don't even know what we actually want yet, so how am I supposed to figure out the numbers?
If you're a homeowner wanting to professionally remodel your home, but you feel paralyzed because you don't know where to start, you're not alone. Most homeowners feel exactly this way. And you know what? Here's the truth. If you start in the wrong place, it could cost you tens of thousands of dollars, months of stress, and years of regret. But there's a smarter way to get started, an easier way to get started. And by the end of this video, you'll know the exact first step to start your remodel on solid ground so you can begin with clarity and confidence. Now, before we get started, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Jason Conaway. I'm an architect with over 20 years of experience in residential design and construction. I work with homeowners, contractors, designers, and remodels of all shapes and sizes, from kitchens and bathrooms to full home transformations. Now, I started Remodel Navigator to take everything I've learned in the industry and put it in service of homeowners, so you can avoid the mistakes I've seen repeated time and again, and instead set your remodel up for success right from the start. And after working with so many families and listening to countless stories from homeowners everywhere, I started noticing the same struggles come up over and over again. It doesn't matter if it's on Reddit threads or house.com forums, even conversations I've had at dinner parties, or as a matter of fact, even while I'm sitting at my son's Little League games, I'm hearing the same struggles from homeowners who want to remodel. We want to remodel, we want it done right, but we don't even know where to start. Here's one example.
My wife and I have owned our home for 6 years. We're interested in a full home renovation, but don't know where to begin. Because we have little to no DIY experience, and both have full-time jobs that take up a lot of work, we've decided to have everything done professionally. But we don't know where to begin. So the question that I've been trying to figure out is, who do I talk to? A designer, architect, general contractor? I'm not sure. We've both never done this.
Now this is real, and you can feel the uncertainty behind it. That fog at the starting line leads to procrastination. And then weeks pass, months pass, and during that time, remodeling prices rise, and the best architects and contractors, you know what? They get booked up solid. And your remodel gets pushed further into the future. Not because you didn't care, but because you didn't have a clear first step. The second struggle I see over and over again is rushing to hire pros. Most homeowners think, I'll just call a contractor, I'll just hire an architect and everything will be okay. But that seems logical, right? But doing that is like putting the roof on before you poured a solid foundation. Here's one homeowner story.
My parents have been screwed over multiple times from contractors in the past, and this most recent one has me reaching out for help. This contractor put in windows wrong. They wouldn't even open. He did a horrible job at hanging drywall and used putty and paint to cover his mistakes. He used fake subcontractors to have my parents write checks to, of which we never received some of the service. I am just sick of seeing my parents being taken advantage of, and I need help.
This is what happens when you skip the foundation. You spend your money on deposits or early fees before you're ready. You get asked questions you can't answer, expectations don't line up, and suddenly you find yourself in a remodel that feels off course from day one. A remodel requires hundreds of decisions to be made. Which countertop profile do I like? Which faucet do I want to go with? Where should the outlets go? What orientation do I want the tile and flooring to be installed? And when you don't have a clear vision, every single decision feels like it has to be recalculated from scratch, and that's exhausting. Here's how one homeowner describes it.
Just finished a new build. This dream has been a nightmare from day one. I'm single, so it's only me. Making every decision, dealing with a builder and contractors that don't listen or care. Nobody understands how burned out I am, how much I now distrust every contractor, and how I basically hate my dream home. They have totally ruined it for me. The builder did stay within budget, but I'm sure many corners were cut to do that. This has been the worst experience of my life. People keep telling me how happy I should be, and all I have is a pit in my stomach.
Can you imagine how exhausting this really feels? The second guessing, the delays, the schedules slipping further and further into the future. And when decisions stall, the entire project stalls. Even the best designers can only design as clearly as you can explain what you want. Without clarity, they're left guessing. Here's a homeowner's post that I found.
We are on designer number 2. The first guy was horrible. He had no sense of style and just could not understand what I was trying to relay, no matter how many photos I showed him. We are now on architect number 2. He did a sketch plans of first and second floors and exterior. It's not really what we'd hoped for. We are 5K into this and I feel like nobody gets us. I've drawn several sketches, provided photos, and it keeps coming back looking different than I'd hoped for. I'm ready to just throw in the towel and pick a pre-drawn plan from a book and be done with it. Honestly, I think this process is a rip-off. I feel like we should be able to do some basic sketches to be sure we are on the same page before they go forward and do tons of work. Both designers lectured us about how it doesn't work this way. I feel like we've paid all this money for nothing and have gotten nowhere.
Do you hear the discouragement in that? Endless revisions, rising fees, a design that's okay, but not what they were actually hoping for. It drains the joy out of the process and erodes trust. And then there's the financial side. Without clarity, budgets can spiral out of control, schedules fall apart and collapse. I mean, listen to this story from one homeowner.
We're in the final stages of a major remodel that involved adding a second story to and renovating an old Craftsman. The initial estimate that we received from our general contractor was $220,000, and we are getting close to $320,000, or perhaps even more as we haven't had a bill recently, and he is also approximately 6 months behind schedule at this point.
Man, I mean, imagine the toll that takes, financially, emotionally, relationally. This is the remodel nightmare that no one wants to talk about. What's really at stake here? Well, let's be honest. The first thing is your hard-earned money. You've been diligent, you've saved for years, you built good financial habits. Maybe you're fully funding this project on your own, or you're taking out a loan. But here's the reality. Remodel price tags are higher than they've ever been. I don't think I've come across a homeowner yet who said, "Oh man, that was cheap." And when you're investing that much, there's a risk. You can't be 100% certain how it'll all turn out. That uncertainty brings anxiety, pressure, and stress. And the stakes go even deeper than that. The constant tension puts strain on relationships. Couples start to argue, and then families split into 2 camps. We want this versus you guys want that. Also, the remodeling process is inconvenient at best. During construction, you're cooking in a half-finished kitchen, you're living in construction dust, and navigating all that chaos. Or maybe you've rented temporary housing that doesn't work for the way your family lives, but you had to take the rental because it worked with your construction start date. That process of remodeling impacts your mental health, stress rises, blood pressure spikes, sleep even suffers. You know, you're awake at 1 o'clock in the morning, wondering if your architect will ever send you back a design that you love, or if your contractor even wrote down the feedback that you gave them last time you had a phone conversation. And this also spills into other areas of life. Stress at home doesn't stay at home. It follows you to work, affects your parenting and your friendships. And then, check this out, after all of that, the worst possible outcome, regret. You put in the time, the money, and the energy, and your house still doesn't feel right. That's the nightmare scenario you desperately want to avoid. But I want to tell you something. It doesn't have to be this way. The very first step of your remodel is not hiring a contractor, it's not hiring an architect, and it's not picking out fixtures and finishes. The first step is building a clear vision for your project. Your vision is the foundation of your remodel. Without it, everything wobbles. With it, every decision is stable, aligned, and confident. As Stephen Covey, the author of the world-famous book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he said this: begin with the end in mind. And that's exactly what a remodel vision does. It forces you to step back, picture the end state, and the way you want your family to live and feel in your home before you take any other steps. And let's clarify, a vision is not a final design. You don't need to know where every wall goes, what window manufacturer you want to use, or what paint colors work well together. That's going to be the job of the skilled professionals that you hire. Your job, your role, is to define the foundation, your life goals, how you want to connect with the people that you care about, the workflows that matter, the must-haves and your dreams. And for those of you who are planning to design yourself, this makes your work sharper and more intentional. And for those of you who are hiring pros, it gives them a clear target to hit. Now, this is what proper planning looks like. Not just planning tasks, but planning the right things. And that's what sets a remodel up for success from day one. When you build a clear, comprehensive vision first, everything changes. Here, let me show you what I mean. First off, the design itself. Instead of sitting through revision after revision with your architect, never quite feeling like they understand you, you're handing them a compass. You've already done the hard work of clarifying what matters, and that gives them direction. They can design with precision. The result, a plan that doesn't just look nice on paper or on the computer screen, but it feels like home when it's built. It resonates with you. And that clarity doesn't just help your architect, it's going to help out at home too. Put yourself in this scenario. You're at the dining table reviewing design proposals from your architect. And you know, for so many couples, that can actually turn into a shouting match. And one of you storms off, and maybe the other one ends up sleeping on the couch. But when you already have clarified your vision together, it's different. Everyone's been heard. Everyone knows what's important and why. Those review meetings now, they're calmer, more respectful, and you're not fighting each other anymore. You're actually working together. The same clarity gives you confidence when it's time to hire. Picture yourself sitting across from a contractor. Instead of fumbling through vague ideas, we kind of want this, maybe we like that, you put a document on the table. It spells out your goals, your minimum standards, and your must-haves. The contractor instantly knows if they're the right fit, and you instantly know if they're not. No more guessing. And with that confidence comes accuracy. Because when architects and contractors actually understand what matters to you, they can price it with precision. That means fewer surprises, fewer change orders, fewer of those gut-dropping moments when you get the estimate and it comes in way higher than what you expected. There's another benefit most homeowners don't think about too, becoming the kind of client that professionals actually want to work with. Let's be real, the best architects, designers, and contractors, they're in high demand, and they get to choose who they take on. So when you show up organized, clear, serious about your project, you stand out. You're not just another client, you're a dream client. And that opens the door to better pros, better service, and ultimately, what you really want, better results. And finally, the biggest payoff of all, your daily joy of your space. Because this isn't just about paperwork or contracts, it's about your life, it's about your family's life. It's about the morning light falling in the right places where you want it. The kitchen flowing the way that your family actually cooks. Movie nights and family game night feel cozy, not cramped. Waking up every day in a home that feels just right. That's what happens when you build the foundation first. Everything else, the design, the hiring, the budget, the construction, it all gets easier, smoother, better. Now, here's the truth. It breaks my heart when I see homeowners go through these struggles. I've watched my family members go through it, I've watched friends go through it, and I've seen too many families spend money, time, and energy on remodels that didn't give them the life that they were dreaming about. And I'm on a mission to do something about it. That's why I've created something new. It's the free 2-day vision building workshop. It's going to be an easy, fun, step-by-step way to build the foundation for your remodel the right way. It'll be self-paced and online, and you can complete it in a weekend. And by the end, you'll have something most homeowners never get. A clear, documented vision that sets you and your project up for success before you hire a designer or a contractor and start spending the big bucks. Now, here's why this workshop matters. It's because this topic about vision building isn't being talked in depth anywhere online. I mean, I've searched high and low, and sure, you'll find little bits and pieces of advice scattered across the internet, but from my experience, those things are incomplete and insufficient. No one is showing homeowners how to do this clearly, step by step, in a way that is actually useful for the projects that they're going to begin. Trying to piece it all together on your own, it's a crapshoot. It's inefficient, it's overwhelming, and it often leads to planning the wrong things. This workshop is going to be different, It makes the process efficient, effective, and guess what? Even enjoyable. So what do we actually do inside the workshop? Well, we'll start with the big picture first, painting a vision of what you want home to look like for you and your family once the remodel is done. How do you want to live? What moments do you want to create? What feelings do you want your home to give you? And then from there, we'll start shaping the emotional side of your home, the mood, the atmosphere, the look and feel that inspires you. Then we'll dig into the practical. How does your home need to function day to day? We'll map out workflows, how to cook, how do you do laundry, how your family moves through the space. And we'll talk about storage, efficiency, and flow. Also, we'll get honest about repairs and realities, the things that are broken, the non-negotiables, and the minimum standards you're not willing to compromise on. And then we'll separate the must-haves from the it's nice to have. So you're clear on where you can invest and where you can flex a little bit. We'll even tackle money, how to start setting a realistic budget that reflects your priorities. And finally, I'll show you how to take everything you've defined and turn it into a tool, a useful tool, a document you can actually use to find, filter, and hire the right professionals who are aligned with your vision. At the end, you'll walk away with clarity about what matters most, the confidence to move forward, alignment with the whole family, and genuine excitement because you actually see the future life at home starting to take some shape. And you won't just have it in your head, you'll have it captured in a clear professional document, something you can share with an architect, a designer, a contractor, a document that instantly communicates who you are, what you want, and what your standards are. That clarity and that leverage, man, that's priceless. And here's what I want you to know. You don't have to remodel the way most people do, the old school way. You don't have to cross your fingers, hand everything over to strangers, and just hope it all comes together. That's the old way, and it's risky. That's the path where budgets spiral, timelines stretch, and stress takes over. That's the path that leaves you lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you just made a mistake that's too big to undo. But there's a different way forward, a new way. It starts with clarity. It starts with your vision. It starts with getting your family on the same page, knowing what matters most, and putting it down in black and white so you can carry it into every step of the process. That's how you build with confidence. That's how you hire the right people. That's how you end up with a remodel that actually feels like home. And it's not just a project that got finished. And that's why I created the Remodel Vision Building Workshop. You don't have to settle for the old path. You can start smart. You can set your remodel on solid ground from day one. So if you're ready to take the first step, I'd love for you to join the waitlist today. Somewhere in this video, around this video, there's a button you can press where you can fill out a quick form, just your name and your email address, and that'll get you on the waitlist. And as soon as the workshop is ready to go, you'll be one of the first to know. Thanks for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the workshop.